Hi, my name is Kevin and I collect old irons. And we are here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, here with Elaine Chalfant to learn some things about the Chalfont Manufacturing Company and see some of the irons in their collection. Issac P. Chalfant was born in 1838, died in 1918, so a long life. He was apparently from something of an industrial family. He had 5 brothers and 4 sisters, and many of these, or their progeny, started companies that built and sold a lot of things, from baby carriages to automobiles. And there are multiple companies to this day that have Chalfant name, though probably not directly related to Issac Chalfant. We do know that Issac had Civil War service in several units from 1861 to 1863, and after that he may have gained experience working in a foundry. The details of the Chalfont foundries are rather unclear. There was apparently a Chalfont foundry in Philadelphia. We can see that on this stand and on some irons, though my guess is that he did not own a foundry there, but worked at one and made some items under his own name. From there, in about 1872, he moved to Ackland, PA, a rural area to the west of Philadelphia, and there he set up a small foundry, emphasis on small. Here is a photo of the employees, not sure exactly when this was taken. And later, in the late 1890s, he opened a larger foundry, which then burned and was rebuilt and burned again by 1903. This probably ended his iron-making history. One reason that the Chalfant name may be unfamiliar to some iron collectors is that while the Chalfont Manufacturing Company probably sold a lot of irons, these are often not well marked. This is a photo of a Chalfont iron from an 1898 catalog. This has the general shape and handle that we associate with Coalbrookdale, a much larger foundry in the Philadelphia area, which worked very closely with Enterprise, an even bigger company. I think that Enterprise contracted some of its iron making to Coalbrookdale and to Chalfont. They all worked together somehow and shared some of the same molds. What made Issac Chalfant an important player in the history of irons was that he bought half of the Mrs. Potts 1871 patent. This was reissued in Chalfant's name in 1872. Enterprise later bought the other half of the patent, and together Chalfont and Enterprise and some of the other companies that made these irons under license made and sold a lot of Mrs. Potts irons. We have seen variants of this image, that is the hand with a set of Mrs. Potts irons, the image commonly put out in Enterprise advertising, but this is an early image of that hand with Chalfant irons. That image of the Chalfant hand comes from a catalog printed in 1898 that I found in eBay, and that started this line of research that has brought me to Lancaster County to talk to Chuck and Elaine Chalfant and see this collection. This is the Chalfant illustration of a sleeve iron showing Chalfant markings, although similar irons found in the Lancaster area by Chuck and Elaine are plain without the markings. Here is something that may be of interest to iron collectors. We all have these large flat irons with A, B, C, or D marked on them. A B and a C are here. These were made by Chalfant. Here is the illustration in the catalog. The catalog advertised the A iron as 12 or 13 pounds, B as 15 pounds, C as 17.5 pounds, and D as 19 pounds, sold by the barrel at 5 cents per pound. Here is the catalog illustration of the Taylor Goose irons, marked CM Company, available in 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and 27 pounds, sold at 5 cents per pound. And here are some of those CM Company Chalfant Goose irons. This one is 14 pounds, this one's 16 pounds. These are some Chalfant flat irons. This one's marked as Chalfant, this one's marked as CM Company, this one is unmarked. They all have very similar sort of curvy handles. that may be a Chalfant signature, though I know there are some other companies that did handles that have a similar design. And here is a McCoy style, we can call it a hat iron or a polishing iron. This one has a rounded bottom. The Chalfants have various of these with various markings or no markings, all acquired here in the immediate area. The Chalfants were apparently more of a local distributor rather than a nationwide distributor, and so it helps to be in the area of Lancaster County if you want to find some of these. The Chalfant collection has quite a number of Mrs. Potts style irons of various markings, and it's interesting looking through these and trying to figure out which might be the older and so forth. These two are massively built, heavy. This one's got a polishing bottom, this one's got a flat bottom, and they have Philadelphia markings on them with the dates for the 1870, 1871 patents and the 1872 reissues. So these are quite old. Here is one of similar construction with the knob is missing, but all the same massive handle design. This one says Chalfant Manufacturing Company, Akron, Pennsylvania. So this is after the move to Akron, so 1873, 1874 perhaps. Although this one is later because it has a patent date for 1878. That patent was by Chalfant for inclusion of asbestos as a non-conductive and also non-flammable, I would think, materials within. This is 20 years before the Dover asbestos irons, which did not need this patent because they're after the patent had expired. There are other irons of simpler construction. The handle here is much simpler, lighter, perhaps less expensive to make. This one says the Chalfant Manufacturing Company, Akron, Pennsylvania. And here is a very similar construction, and this one says simply Mrs. Potts Sat Iron. And this Mrs. Potts Sat Iron is a design was made in vast numbers, and all of us have seen these. Chalfant also manufactured some of the natural gas external burner travel irons that we've seen in previous videos. A couple of the irons in the catalog are things that I have never seen, and heads up for all of us to look for. This is an alcohol rotating iron advertised in the Chalfant catalog, and this is a Chalfant duplex gas sat iron and stove. I want one of these. So that's what we know about the Chalfant Manufacturing Company.
But wait, we have one more item.
Oh, this is a seal, and you got this at an auction many years ago, you say?
Yes.
And
We have the item.
this reads the Chalfant Manufacturing Company seal, and it gives a date in 1891 in which this company was incorporated, Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
This is very neat, and thank you very much.
You're welcome.